scale and stimulate everybody to think about how to do it in their own surroundings. I just wanted to make two observations on the wider uses of your field as often comes to our attention. One has to do with the observations and then collection of data that shows what the truth is, so to speak. The other has to do with applying the truth. And perhaps the evolving basis, evolving nature of some of these things is exemplified by automobile accidents and morbidity and mortality in young people, and how our views on that change as to cause through the years. And I think even from the time we were young, why alcohol and speeding were two factors that we instilled into our youngsters as they got their first driver's licenses. Causes of severe injury and death, fairly easy to document under those circumstances. That has evolved further when seat belts came along, and we were able to show that if we could get our youngsters to use seat belts as well as our oldsters, that further reduced the rate. And then it continues to change, and as the cell phone came in, that became, in many areas of the country, the principal cause of death for new drivers, teenagers particularly being prone to use cell phones, and even more recently, Twittering while driving, not just phones, but trains and other things. So this is a constantly changing thing where one continues to apply the same approach, the epidemiological approach, but finding that different things now take precedence in what to worry about, the old ones remaining, of course. The second thing is, having acquired this information, and you've alluded to it, how to apply it in the political sense is often a problem. And the lag that people experience in applying these things is quite remarkable, considering how convincing the data often is. And I see now that the federal government has outlawed Twittering by federal employees nationwide. But the states still have control over their employees, and they're, as always, ambivalent about this, imposing on individual rights versus what is also a public risk involved. Arizona has not made a decision whether Twittering is bad in the car yet, and hopefully we'll see that evolve too. Thank you.
Yeah, those are very interesting comments. The distinction that I make in what I was talking about here is between worrying about causes and worrying about amelioration. And you do not necessarily attack the problem as you rank the causes. Alcohol has been a ubiquitous problem since the automobile was invented, one that we have made some dents in with the 21-year-old drinking age in several things. It's now down to about 30% of fatal crashes, whereas it was about half 30 years ago. So we're making progress on some of those kinds of problems. But you can ameliorate the severity of an injury without directly attacking those kinds of causes. If you have a car that rates very well on the Insurance Institute's offset frontal crash test, the federal government's side crash tests, and has electronic stability control in it, you reduce your risk of death in a motor vehicle by 80%, as opposed to one that does not meet those criteria. And those, the auto companies say, well, we don't cause the crashes. No, you do not. But you can fix them. It's a different way of thinking about it, You intervene somewhere in the process, not necessarily attack the first cause, second cause, third cause in that order. And that's not original with me. The father of injury epidemiology, Bill Haddon, that I worked for one time, wrote a lot about that.